I was thinking about all the people who say they can't do something, or it's not something that they should do but they would like to do. And I'm thinking, why is that? Who told you that you should not or cannot do something? So if you're one of those people who really wants to do something, but since you were little you were told that's a crazy idea, you can't do that, and so in your mind growing up you might have thought it's something I can never do, so you never even thought about it, maybe in the back of your head, and dreamed about things, but you just never pursued it. You never researched or learned more about it because you thought it was too out there. It could have been your parents, it could have been a teacher, it could have been just your friends, or just somebody that had said it to you. And especially when you're young and someone tells you you can't do something, you're like, well, I'm young, what do I know? Maybe they're right, so I better not think about it. Because some kids, they think about being a rock star or a model or actress, or they want to travel the world, or being the president. Something like that. And of course people say, well, it's impossible to do that, and so you just never pursued it. Now, just because you dreamt about being a rock star, and even if you did pursue it, doesn't mean you might be a rock star. But like I said in another video, doesn't mean you can't do something you love, or be surrounded by music, or end up teaching music, or being in a band on the weekend, or acting in the community theater. Just because you don't become super famous doesn't mean you should not do something that you love to do, or something that you want to do. Or traveling. Maybe you don't want to travel overseas, maybe you want to travel in your RV or a van. A lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are traveling in their van, especially if it's just one or two people, and it's pretty easy. A lot of retired folks decide that's what they'll do because it's much less expensive than, say, purchasing a brand new RV. Or some do get RVs that are older and they can travel around. And it's because they finally said, I'm going to do something I want to do. And it was always a dream. But I'm hoping that whatever your age is, that you don't wait. If you're younger, please don't wait till you're 65 or 70 when you're retired to go do something. Do something now while you're healthy. And of course you got to be responsible, pay your bills, or don't acquire any bills if you can help it. Of course, owning a car, you will have to pay upkeep or a car payment or gas or insurance. So owning a car, for example, is a very expensive thing to have. In the United States, it's something a lot of people need to have if they want to get to work and back. But a lot of people don't even think about it, that maybe you could do without the car. Can you live in the city or near the city? I'm not saying that you should. I'm just saying sometimes we don't think about like the alternatives, the other options that we have in our lives. We have the option to do what we want to do, but sometimes in our head we see everybody else with the mortgage, with the car payment, with living in the suburbs, or having a million different outfits and having the latest this or that, and then you feel like you have to do that, so you end up finding yourself in debt or having to try to pay that off. So then you can't quite go after your dreams because you're worrying about paying those bills off. So it's a vicious circle trying to pursue your dreams and goals. It's not easy if you don't put yourself totally into it and trying to figure out how you're going to achieve that dream or goal that you've had. Not everybody, I guess, really wants to have that dream or goal, but if you really do, there is a way to at least get near that goal. So I guess my point is that no matter what people have told you up until now, even today, if you have this idea of wanting to start a business, or who knows what, moving to another state, or building your own home, living off the grid, whatever it is that you want to do, you're most likely going to come across people who tell you not to do it. It's not because they don't love you, if it's your family, it's because they're worried or they know nothing about it. They don't want you to get hurt. They don't want you to get yourself into trouble. That's why it's really important to do research on the thing that you want to do, whatever it is. Lots of research. And it takes like hours every day for a long time. And then you have to get yourself in a position so you can do that. Number one is decluttering. And number two, that goes with decluttering, is getting yourself out of debt. Because when you owe money, it's very difficult to do anything. And when you got a bunch of stuff, it's hard to do anything. So those are my 2 tips. I'm not a professional in the financial arena, but I can tell you those are the 2 things that I see that stop people from doing things, because there's the fear factor. And usually people are afraid because they're in debt or they got too much stuff and they can't figure out how to get out of it. It's just too overwhelming. And so they just say, it's just too hard, so I'm not going to bother. So I hope that you don't do that. Just because something's difficult, that you just don't do it. You just throw your hands up and say, I don't want to do it. Now, if you just don't want to do something because you don't want to do it, that's another story. That's fine too. But if it's something that you really want to do, then you can do it. How it ends up in the end, exactly, who knows? But if you don't try it, and you don't try it now, who knows if you can do it later? And if you are unable to do it later, then you're going to have regrets. This life is way too short for any of us not to do what we want to do now. Of course, without hurting others. And of course, you have to take into account for your family, if you're married or you have kids, you have to work with each other on what you want to do. You can't just pack up and leave your family and your kids. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you have to wait for your kids to grow up to do something and you have something in mind, maybe you don't have to go full force doing whatever that is. Maybe you could start doing something now, or at least start doing the research. Because like I said, research takes a long time when it has to do with something big. When it has something to do with a big dream, it's usually big research, lots of research. Because I was just thinking about it while walking through town, because I see people from around the world are here, they're learning Spanish, they're speaking different languages, and I know for them to get here, they had to do a lot of research, and it took a lot of work for them to get here, because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to learn Spanish. And then I see other people here who live here who are doing all they can to learn English, for example. English is a huge language that they're trying to learn because they want to go to the UK, or they want to go to the United States, or they just want to be here and have that second language. It's great to speak 2 languages when looking for a job or owning a business and you're dealing with people from around the world. I see a lot of determined people here from around the world, and I think it's pretty inspirational. So I thought I'd make this video, and I'd love to hear from you. What is it that you want to do? And I know I've asked you this in other videos, but for those of you who have not commented before, don't be shy, comment below. We're a nice group of people. We don't judge here. We'd love to hear what your dreams and goals are. And also let us know, you don't have to tell us your exact age, but are you younger? Are you middle age? Are you older? And it doesn't matter how old you are. It's never too late to start today, right now. And my friend Cheryl Yaps, who has an awesome channel, so make sure you go follow her. She's very inspirational to me, and she is right on the money when she says every day you get to decide how you want your day and your life to continue. You get to make the decisions. No, it's not easy, but you have to start with the little baby steps and start doing your homework as far as what you want to do and go from there. So if someone told you, no, you can't do that, no, it's impossible, it's a stupid idea, never mind them. You could do it. So I'd love to hear your story. If someone has told you that you can't do something and then you did do it, comment below, let us know about that. And if you haven't done it yet, do you plan on doing it? Or is the fear holding you back too much? And if that's the case, then we got to talk. No more fear. We all have to get past those fears because we all have them. It's not just you, it's all of us. We've gone through it one way or the other. And I'm a perfect example of being on the internet, having my face on the internet. That's it was a very, very scary thing for me to do. The other very scary thing was to sell our house and travel just full time. That was scary. It took a lot of research. It took a lot of decluttering. It took a lot of hard work. It just didn't happen overnight. So, something to think about. Well, thanks for watching. Thumbs up. Please share. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to live a passionate life.